Yo, welcome to If You Don't Know, Now You Know. My name's Mr. Hecker. Thanks for joining us. My guest here today, Cole, brother, how are you?
So, cuz, good.
Appreciate you coming on the show, bro, and thanks for your time today.
Oh, thanks for having me, bro.
How's your day been first?
Not too bad. Just normally my Mondays are sort of like my admin day. Try and get ready for the week. Yeah,
Got to do the good stuff, hey, bro?
yeah, bro.
It all comes in the prep, hey?
Yeah, cuz it
Comes
does.
in the prep. Good
It
week,
does, it
start
does.
with good prep, hey?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
It's just so the fans out there, just give us a bit of a rundown on what you do. You obviously own Heartbreak Conditioning here in the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Give us a bit of a rundown on what you do and where your background.
Oh, yeah. I'm Cole. Yeah, and I run Heartbreak Conditioning Gym. So located here on the Gold Coast. I've had the gym for around about 7 years now.
Yeah.
7 years now. I've been in the strength conditioning game. For a good 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years now. And also too before that, I was in the New Zealand Infantry.
Yeah.
And New Zealand Army. With that. So sort of been with fitness and sport and that sort of thing most of my life.
Yeah, definitely. And actually I've been fortunate enough to go down to Heartbreak as well. So thank you very much for having me down there, bro. And I have to say it was one of the going to like an MMA style gym where there's fighting and stuff like that. It was a real for me hurdle to overcome because where I grew up there was no gyms. I grew from the country, it's quite a fear for me because I always loved it. Coming into the environment that you've created down there has been really good, bro. So anyone out there that's listening, make sure you head down to Heartbreak. Everyone down there, it's just that family attitude and it's very comforting. It's nice. Bro. It's so humble, and so appreciate that, bro. Because that was one of those things. I was like, I was always on the fence. I wanted to go, but I was like, always had a fear. I didn't know what it was going to be like, and went down there, bro, and I was like, this is a good place, eh? Yeah. So, thank you for that, bro.
I enjoy it. So, strength conditioning plus also, too, the fighting, and that has also been a big passion of mine.
Yeah.
Obviously, I boxed and did MMA. I do grappling and all that sort of stuff now. To have my own, fight gym and strength conditioning gym was always, a big goal of mine. Because all that stuff I love, So, and I've got a good crew down there, too, so I obviously try and make sure, because ego can be a big thing when it comes to the fighting sort of scene.
Yeah.
So definitely didn't really want that sort of thing there.
No,
so more of
you've
a
executed that, bro. It's a very family. I love it down there. It's nice. Every time I've been there, you walk in the morning and it's one of those things I've struggled with going to gyms and Gold Coast. People don't say hello because I always hey, morning. Walk down there, everyone's like, morning. I love that. You can tell a lot by a place when you walk in. Everyone's like, yo, what's up?
Yeah. I suppose it's just a bit more of a, you sort of just show it rather than sort of try to project it.
Yeah, bro. And you've done that down there. It's been really good. So let's jump straight into it. I want to know, before the gym, before the health and fitness, you're obviously in the army, and before that, where'd you grow up?
I come from Gisborne, so Gisborne, New Zealand. Yeah, East Coast. East Coast. So I come from Gisborne. Went to I was born there. Obviously went to high school and all my schooling there. Also, too, my father comes from up in the Uruwitas. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time up there too. Ruakaturi, and that's inland from Wairoa.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where my father was born and bred. So that's where I obviously spent a lot of my spare time was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also too, my grandmother comes from Mahia Peninsula. So I spent a lot of time in those three places. So when I was young.
What was childhood like for you growing up?
Childhood was good. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like we had a lot, but but I was definitely rich in with the people that were around me. So when it came to my grandparents, great people. Both my parents were solid and obviously real hard workers.
Yeah.
When I was younger, obviously we didn't really have a lot of money, so a lot of the time was spent between shearing sheds. Shearing sheds. My father was a shearer, so.
It's funny, my old man's a shearer too, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up in the shearing sheds too.
Yeah, cool, man.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So when we were young, so obviously just cruised around in our Bedford van from shearing quarters to shearing quarters. So that was a lot of my childhood leading up, where my family sort of got to a point to try and get a house so we could go to school in Gisborne. So
sweet, bro.
So that's where it sort of started. So But I suppose the positive thing for me was that, seeing that hard work, I never felt like uncomfortable in life. I mean, it was more just like that was what we were up to. So I actually enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah,
when I was young.
Me too, bro. I was like, when you were saying, I was like, man, because that's what I did for my whole childhood was travel around Australia. Because my old man, my mum and dad, like come over here from New Zealand when I was born. And they've been traveling around Australia shearing, and so we were just always cruising. Like as a young kid, we were in the van, and just camping at the quarters all the time. And that was just my lifestyle. Like. I would just find something to do during the day. I'd be at the creek. I'd be wherever. I'd be out in the paddock. I'd be penning up. And
didn't know that.
And the hard work aspect is just like they worked hard. Like if you're in the shearing sheds, like, and then as I grew up, I was a rouseabout for a while, and then I was a penner upper. I don't know if you were penning up, but I could not do it. Sheepo. My old man was like, keep that pen full, keep it full, all the time, and it was something I never could do because I used to just flip out. Sheep were so dumb. I just like, he was trying to beat them up and get them up the ramp. It was just so hectic, and as I got a bit older and I start growing up, I become the wool presser, and I got out of there. So it was good, bro. Never knew that.
Well, definitely, well, that's sort of like different things like that. I noticed a lot with obviously with work ethic and that sort of thing. So my father was a real hard worker, so he still is. So even just seeing him with like how he worked on the farm and all that sort of thing too. I mean, obviously he was a pretty hearty on me, but especially being the only boy out of us, so so I was working pretty hard from when I was young. So
same with me. That's just it's that environment that you're in at the shearing sheds as well. Your dad, they know how to lay it down. A hard day's work
for sure, man.
If you're a shearer out there and you've got to it's hard. You're bent over all day. You're dragging animals around, holding them down, shearing them. It's a very different environment too out there. You got to be a little bit got to be pretty quirky and funny out at the sheds. It's very quick-witted out there, eh?
They work day in, day out, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. How else was your child? How'd actually, like, you obviously grew up in Gizzy, traveling around. How'd you end up in the Gold Coast?
Oh, Gold Coast. Okay, so after all that sort of time between farms and everything, and then obviously I had college and went to high school Gizzy Boys.
Yep.
High school Gizzy Boys, and I suppose I messed around on my last couple of years. Didn't really sort that out very well. So, so I got sent back to the farm.
Oh, did you? Did you get kicked out?
No. Just when obviously went work with the old man and stuff like that too. And there was a lot of obviously things to try and sort out, help my family up on the farm too. So spent a couple of years up there, and then joined the military. The military.
When did you join up in the military?
When did I join?
Yeah. What age roughly?
Oh, she sort of been 18.
18?
Yeah.
Oh, young age, hey?
Yeah, 18 to 19, yeah. So.
How was that, like, going from the farm? Like, you've just gone from the farm, going to Gizzy and going to school and that, and being put in an environment like that. Like, how did that change you?
It's a good question. Well, my father, if anyone knows my father, he's a pretty full-on dude. So, but it was cool, though. It was cool. So, with all the work and stuff that I'd sort of become accustomed to. By the time I'd sort of got to the military, it was actually a pretty good fit for me, to be honest.
You're ready to go. He prepped you up.
So the big fella got me going. Once I went there, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. My years in the army were good. Gave me a lot of growth. Definitely sort of straightened me out.
And I know you got that discipline as well. I feel like that's like I can always... knowing your background, mate, I feel like you've got a lot of discipline from that area as well, and you carry that through your life today.
Yeah. Oh, there was definitely some times where the discipline wasn't there. Yeah. But I eventually got there, bro.
We all have those days, brother. So, in your family, was there anyone else that had been in the military, or just you?
Through my generation, it was pretty much just me. But I got another cousin that was in the Navy. But my great grandfather, Machu Edwards, he was in the Pioneer Division, World War One. Okay. Yeah, so that's probably the closest one to that.
Yeah. So obviously you've been in the military. How many years roughly?
Would have been about 5.
5 years. 5 years. So you obviously got out of that, and that's kind of where you landed in the Gold Coast after that.
Yeah, man. So like, I was in the military, and I sort of wanted to try and either go for one of the elite sections, whether that was like PTIs or SAS,
Yep.
and I wanted to do PTIs.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went and did PTIs, which is physical training instructors. So went and did that. Did the selection, and obviously got through all the testing and stuff, but they still decided not to give it to me, which definitely annoyed me. But
yeah, that'll be a bit frustrating. That's a lot of hard work goes into that. Hey, there'd be so much that you would have had to endure so much shit just to get there.
Yeah, it felt like it was personal, to be honest. But but on that same note, someone told me, I think it was actually on that time, one of the boys go, "Oh, the best trainers come from Gold Coast. There's a lot of good trainers that come on the Gold Coast, and then once that sort of happened, sort of annoyed me, and then I left.
Oh, okay.
I left the army pretty much.
You're out of there.
A few weeks later.
Okay, yeah, gap it. Yeah, well, it's not for you, but if you put in all the work and you didn't come through, it's okay.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, so I took that more personally, and then I bounced. So I came to Gold Coast and pretty much got straight into trying to do the PT thing straight off the bat.
Yeah, so you obviously rock up the Gold Coast. You know many people here back then?
Nah.
No.
No.
Good jump, bro.
Yeah.
Good jump. You soon find your feet, and that's how I ended up in the Gold Coast. I knew no one here as well. And I come here and started a construction business. People were like, you're from this little town. I was like, well, figure it out when I get there.
Yeah, well, I come here too, and obviously, I met a girl here too, so that was pretty much the only thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So obviously my baby's mama.
Yeah, baby's mama. Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, a lot of people. That's how a lot of people end up. I end up here that same way.
Oh,
I had a partner here, so I was like, well, looks like I'm moving to Gold Coast.
Yeah, but besides that, obviously, it was all just me. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, you opened up Heartbreak, and I know you've moved once since being. Did you move twice? Like your original, you had a different shed, hey, to the one that you're in now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved there, but I'd sort of been doing the training thing for a good, 8, nearly 10 years before I got to that sort of stage.
Yeah.
So doing PTing or training with Fitness First and stuff like that. Competing. And all that sort of
you had to go up through the ranks there for a while, and that was I feel like you would have got into this the industry when it was really booming as well back then. That's when things like the fitness industry was really kicking off. Well, it's always been quite big, but I remember there was a lot of years there where it like skyrocketed quite high.
During that time it was pretty massive. So like and then obviously it's pretty flooded now.
Yeah,
pretty flooded now.
Big market now. So you got in. I feel like you got in at a really good time.
Yeah.
What was it like being a PT and working in the fitness industry in the Gold Coast like back in those times?
Oh, bro. To be honest, it was a bit of an eye opener. It was a bit of an eye opener. So like hence I'd come from like a small town. Then went to obviously the military, and then from the military sort of come over here, and then so my mentality for stuff was a lot different too. What I'd seen. So there's definitely a lot of more aesthetics. More worried about aesthetics and stuff like that too. Even seeing how many people were taking steroids and things like that. Yeah, it's a very
big scene, hey. A lot of people in the steroids flat out, and it's like,
oh yeah.
Oh shit, like
it was just like a whole nother sort of scene. I was like, far out. This is hard out. Yeah.
That was a real eye opener for me as well. Like when I come to a town like this, and it's just like everyone's just juiced up to the max, get out. And I was like, oh shit! I was like, man, I'm like,
I've seen that guy train. He doesn't train that much.
Yeah. It was very very different scene.
How
hey,
did he do that?
Yeah. It's like you come here and then you start to learn. You see the people on the social media, and then you figure out the environment. You're like, bang bang, start put it together.
Yeah. So I did find it hard a little bit, but I've always just kept to my own thing. I mean, if people want to do what they want to do, that's up to them.
Yeah, that's them, mate.
But I've never really been like that. I've always been into my sports and performance.
Yep.
And to be honest, I'm a bit old fashioned when it comes to that. Like if I know something else is giving me something that's not mine, you know what I mean? So it doesn't really sit well with me.
Yeah, it's cheating, and me, I'm like, there's always a benefit in, going it the hard way.
Hard. There's a lot that you get sort of mentally.
Yep.
And besides the performance that, it's hard to get if you're cheating.
Definitely. So I want to know, how'd you get into fighting, bro? How'd you get into that? Like, how'd you get into that scene?
Well, that's a bit of a trippy story. So I went on tour to East Timor on operations with infantry. So, and when we're over there, you're either doing like either patrolling through the jungle for like a month, patrol, and then every now and then you'll do like a month where you're stuck in camp.
Okay.
Stuck in camp, and then you're doing small jobs and things like that. So you get a bit of downtime during those times. So had a few of the bros. One of the mates, Jerry Porter, and he was he had a bit of a boxing background.
Yeah.
And then also too, there was like a tournament coming up, which was going to be against the other forces, and then also in between like our own crews.
Yeah.
You know, so it also gave us something to like aim for.
Yeah, because you're out there, you want to do something, keep your mind occupied and keep you on sharp.
So he was doing training to try and get ready to fight and get pulled out and have a fight with these other guys. So he had no sparring partners and that sort of thing too. So there was me.
Here we go.
There was me and another good mate Ryan, and another mate Queenie Matoktia, and all four of us sort of just were as boxing bags for a little bit. And then being boxing bags and training and stuff, we started to obviously pick up some things. You obviously
got to learn quick, bro. You got to learn
so
quick.
We started picking up some stuff, started going okay. And then we all ended up putting all our names forward for the fighting. And then, we all went okay, won that. Then we ended up repping a New Zealand squad against Oz.
Sweet.
And then, we won that. That's where it started.
Yeah, it's quite an addictive sport, hey, I feel. It's so addictive because there's so much to learn.
Definitely.
I never grew up with it as a kid or anything like that. But, as I grew older and, all the sports have evolved and I've gone and, had a little play around in a couple of areas. I'm like, cause my brain's like, wow. I'm like, it's like a learning thing, an eagerness to learn. And it's,
for sure.
It's such a hard sport to play, and there's so much to learn. It's consistently growing and evolving. So that's what I love about it, bro. For me, it's so addictive.
I think with me, it was sort of like I don't know. So it was sort of like definitely, I suppose, the fear about it. The fear about sort of obviously going to get someone that's ready and fighting and putting yourself in that situation. It was sort of weird. It sort of like excited me when it came to that sort of thing. So it was almost just like I enjoyed the fact of being afraid of it and confronting it.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing as well with myself. I bought a headgear the other week because I have I've never had to spar anyone, but I'm like, if I buy the headgear, because I'm worried about sparring, but I'm like, now I got it, I have to use it. So I'm like, I don't want to waste my money. So I've been asking a couple of guys I know. Luke Baker, shout out, bro. I'm coming to spy. I've been calling him out. But I maybe not start that caliber of guy that boxing that.
The bro knows how to go, man.
I've been giving him shit for a couple of weeks. So send him photos of my headgear on. But that's the fear of it, eh? And I love that. The fear of a lot of like everything that I've experienced in my life. The amount of fear around it's been the best thing for me. So I always look for things like that. I call it playing the opposite game, where I'm like, I look at things that scare me the most. I'm like, oh shit, I got to do that. Better do that one.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I find it definitely like rewarding to do this sort of type of thing. It's got me in trouble sometimes, but it's still cool. Yeah,
get the lessons, you get the lessons, bro. And so obviously you're living here in the Gold Coast now. Heartbreak Conditioning's up and running. You got a good crew down there. You've got your son, your boy. How old's your boy?
Oh, Mana just turned 12.
Just turned 12,
just turned 12.
I see you guys getting out on the weekends and stuff, and you like spending the time with him. You're out playing basketball and stuff. So, big praise to you on that as well. Because I can see how well you take on the fatherhood side of things. And bro, that's like, it's good to see. You're taking your boy out, you're getting out and about, and I think you take him to jiu-jitsu and stuff like that.
So he's been doing jiu-jitsu since he was, his 4th birthday. His 4th birthday. So he's been doing it for a while. So training with also some close friends and also help with training with Fabio Galeb. Fabio Galeb.
He's the guy then at the gym, hey?
Galeb Brothers. He's the man, bro. So and then he's been training with him since he was like real young.
Oh, bro, growing up with it, hey, that's such a benefit, hey. Like when I look at like what sports I grew up with as a kid, I'm like, like imagine growing up with jiu-jitsu and all those sports, hey. It's such they're very. They got so many lessons in them as well. It's a very humbling sport. I feel like even I guess how Australia is at the moment, a lot of these kids are growing up with these fighting backgrounds and stuff. I feel like in the next 10 years, like the amount of people we'll have in that sport is going to grow so much. Hey.
Oh, definitely, bro. Definitely. I just think that like it's just for me personally. Well, I mean, I love spending time with my boys, so it's not really a big thing for me. But I sort of try and obviously trying to grow a man there. So I suppose a lot of the problems with a lot of the youth at the moment is that they don't have that. You know what I mean? So I just don't want them to be that statistic.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like those sports teach you how to control your anger. Sure. And I know I've spoken to other parents and stuff before. They're like, oh, you know, that teaches kids violence and stuff. I'm like, no, it actually doesn't. Like a lot of kids like that won't actually engage in anything, you know, like that unless they really have to. I feel like it takes a lot of the shit out of it.
For sure. I mean, like what's the quote? It's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war. So
yeah, definitely. I want to say, man, just kudos for you as well for doing that as well. Because I see, you know, that's a and holding it down there at Heartbreak Conditioning as well. Because I know a lot of people get a lot of benefit out of coming into that community as well. Because it's, you know, anyone can have a gym and stuff like that, but creating an atmosphere and an environment is another thing as well, and that's what you do there, bro. So
for sure,
big thanks, bro, and appreciate that as well. What's on the horizon? What do you feel like is on the horizon for Heartbreak? What are you bringing in? Like what do you foresee in the future?
Oh yeah, so like I mean, like obviously all this stuff is my passion too. So I do love it. I do like helping people, and I go right at it too. So.
You go good at it, bro. You go good at
it. So obviously with all the COVID thing and everything like that's always been a bit of a strain. Yeah. But we've been getting through it. I suppose the biggest thing for me at the moment is I've got an idea with trying to get myself my footing back home, Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I'm looking at trying to do either small like training camps based around obviously training, health, well-being, incorporating people there back home into it too. Also to the mental aspect, and also to bringing in people to help out with almost like tikanga and that.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? So not in a way of trying to make people moldy, but more in a way of showing people like the benefit of having a connection.
Yeah, connection is what a lot of people are missing.
For sure, man.
A sense of belonging, and
definitely.
They're just like a lot of people are lost.
Yeah, and they just sort of attach themselves to other things. You know what I mean? So other things that aren't really connected to them.
Yeah,
do you know
exactly.
what I mean? You get a lot more. I feel you get a lot more fulfillment and a lot more strength from connecting to what's connected to you.
What's true in here.
Exactly.
Hey, that's it's a lot of people don't realize it until they've had it.
Yeah,
and then they're
for
like,
sure.
It's just a strong connection, a strong bond, and then they're like, oh, bang, kept it.
Yeah, for sure. So like that's like a big thing for me. It also brings me home. A little bit more. So because all my whānau's still back home.
Yeah.
And then also too, like gets my connection back up again too. So I've been out and about for a while now.
Yeah.
So I sort of need to start slowly
going back there. And that's it's such an important aspect to have, and I had to realize this a long time ago because obviously
especially with my son now.
Yeah, you want to see him be able to experience that environment as well. Yeah, that's
we do it like quite a bit anyway. So we'll try and shoot back home as much as we can, but to put him like deep in it, deep in it a lot more. So to feel the culture, see the culture, be a part of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I never grew up with any of that environment as well. But now as I get older, I'm like, okay, cool. I want to go back there and learn. Yeah, definitely. I'm learning te reo and taking on the language and stuff. So I'm like 6 weeks in now. So it's cool. I'm learning.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back into it a lot better. Like, I could hold a basic conversation when I was back home and that, but I've definitely lost a bit since being away. So since having boy now we're starting to get out to back on again now too. So it's good.
It's funny for me because I got like such an Aussie accent. It's like one of the things I'm gonna be surprising a few people when I go back to New Zealand next because I'm like, well, I got the next 12 weeks this courses and I'll be learning quite hard.
Oh, it's been, bro.
It'll be funny when I go back to New Zealand next time. I'll be able to,
I think a bad thing too is with trying to learn. So they was trying to have that courage to put yourself in that spot too. Unfortunately, a lot of people will judge you. Will judge you
me hard.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but we should all be a lot more supportive of it.
It is one of those environments that I've been thrown in as well, especially for myself. You know, going to New Zealand, they're like, oh, you know, where you from? They start speaking in Te Reo to me. I'm like, sorry, brother. I'm like, I wasn't fortunate enough to grow up in that environment where I learned, but I am learning. Even it is quite funny for me because I go back there and a lot of sometimes people see me and they're like, "Hey, bro," but I go, "You going, mate?" Like just to throw them off. They get like a little bit they throws them off straight away. Even like I had we went to a Christchurch. We went to a youth prison when we were traveling around there last year to just speak to the kids, etc. And I got up and I started talking. And obviously the security guard hadn't heard me talk because I just said morning and stuff like that. And I got up and they just started ripping on me hard just because of my Aussie accent. They were like, "Where's your mud crabs?" Like yelling at me and stuff like these kids. And it wasn't until then I realised like how deep my Aussie accent is and how twangy it is. It's not until you go over there and you start talking to people and have those interactions. And off the back of that, like, obviously want to go back and get in touch with New Zealand and land and the culture and obviously bring your son up in that environment as well. I want to talk about Fight for the Whenua. Like what's been like for the people out there that may not understand like what this is, give them a rundown on what's actually going on here.
Okay. So it's obviously a complicated one, but so in essence the people are trying to confiscate our land, our land. So it's Māori land or land that we whakapapa to, connected to. And it's also land that my family have run for, like 80 plus years. 80 plus years, as farmers and that. It's also land that's, if you're looking at resources and it'd be worth a lot of money. It is worth a lot of money in the millions. So, but to us, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about the connection to the land and what's going on there. In New Zealand, obviously, there's a lot of Māori land. There's a lot of Māori land, and they're sort of like, obviously, there's like one group called the Tumu Paidal, which is part of the administration for the land and how Māori families are meant to work the land. How Māori families are meant to work the land. And then you have another arm of the government too, which is the Māori Land Court. So Māori Land Court obviously decides what, yay or nay.
You get the yes or no's.
Gives you the yes or no. So these two guys in between have been utilising their powers illegally to confiscate land. And that's what they're doing with us. So, So we own 60% of this front block called Waipawa 582. Okay, so and then that's divided up between the family. Well, my grandfather purchased it. My grandfather purchased it and owns that front block. But there's a second block called Napakira connected to the back of it. So all of it's around about sort of like 4,000 acres, for probably more. Not direct, but so it's only a small block the front, but that's obviously the entry to the whole land, and the whole land works together as one. So what's happened is they are trying to pretty much confiscate the front. In essence, taking the front, getting the whole thing.
Okay, because then you can't get access to the back.
No, you can't get access to the back because the Uruwera National Park comes across the back. So my father solely has been put in charge of the 60%. Reason why is just due to my grandfather had the land, gave it to two older brothers to work. So was driven into massive debt. And then my father pretty much dropped his whole life. He was pretty talented at a lot of things when it came to football and heaps of other things. So he came back, and over the last 30 years, him solely, plus a few others, plus my Uncle Gordon and that sort of thing too. He's passed away now. Pretty much worked all the way till then, till pretty much now, to get rid of the debt. So that's gone, and then all the stuff happened.
All this shit's come up.
So it's a big intertwined web. So that's that in essence, like of sort of what's happened. So and there've been like obviously a lot of wrongdoings. I mean, one big one. One big one was the Chief Judge, Wilson Isaacs. Part of the Māori Land Court. ended up trying to put his own name on the lease or control of the land. So the chief judge. So,
So the corruption's deep.
Yes. So you've got that. Then bringing in like family feuds and heaps of other stuff. So, because I obviously put up, once I sort of seen like how blatant they were just gonna to do that, knowing that everything on paper is what my father's done, and then everything else is being extracted. Even the will, like, I even got the will here with them signing, and then like handing over their shares, and like, oh my god,
because I feel like they're just trying to unravel everything and like make it a battle internally as well with the family,
and then just come in and
they're trying. It's just like that's just the game they play. Like people up in those seats like that, they know how to. They've been. It's probably not the first time they've done it as well.
Definitely not.
So that's why they know how to play the game. Yeah. I want to understand. There was a time now. I feel I can't remember. It must have been on Instagram and that when they come to the house, to the farmhouse.
Oh yeah. So
like, what was that like? Because I know there was quite a heavy situation where obviously they were armed and they come up to the house. Being back here in Australia and you're having to sit here and watch that. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, like, she's so like intertwined with all these things. Like, but there are some definite sort of illegal injustices with this. Like, for example, obviously, on paper, the will and everything was all signed over for my father to control the place, such and such. Never a time where the family wasn't allowed to come up there. There were a few safety issues with some of the family, which I don't really want to be getting into that, but they're obviously definite safety issues there. So with that, so that's why that was in place. And my sisters, both my sisters, very intelligent. So my younger sister worked for the Model Land Court. So she was obviously up to date with
she knew what was going on in the system.
And my other sister was also involved with criminal law too. So she knew everything on procedures when it came to police and everything like that.
The system
So in a nutshell, we were given trespassing notices. On your own place to get off, and then they forcibly tried to come or forcibly arrested. Yep. So on one occasion they arrested the whole family. They arrested the whole family outside of the farm. Also to forcibly arrest my grandmother.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
My 87-year-old grandmother with dementia and stuff. So, I mean, like, even talking about this is pretty hard to try and handle. But, so there's, like, definite things like that, which, besides all the law and everything like that, you don't have to be a lawyer to figure out that that's not right.
Yeah.
Also, too, it's a civil case. It's a civil case, so
they're just trying to hit you in those spots, hey, and they're looking for reactions. I feel like just like when I was watching everything unfold, I'm like, there's a battle here where they're losing, and we'll take jabs at how can we take this down?
Like I've got like
it's such a hard thing to watch, and I was looking at that, and when I heard you talking about it, and I was watching it on Instagram, I was like, It's kind of hard to watch because I know that's it's be difficult when you're at you're here and you're having to see family and etc. go through that kind of bullshit, and it's like I feel like you did well to keep it cool. Keep it cool.
So just trying to do that, and then just trying to drag up all the family rubbish, which was already sorted. Trying to do that, and like all the different angles. I mean, like different people connected to media too. Like, we had the media there too, pumping it out, but then sometimes the stories are coming out like
filtered
and glitched there. So that was bad, and so it's just been a constant battle on them. They also have like police that have been involved and doing things and pressuring them, and like my whole family doesn't have any criminal references at all. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So even trying to have like me personally have talks with them. Yep. And then just trying to listen to like their side of the view. But, it's pretty clean cut. Like the will says how it's meant to be. Yep. Yeah. The farm should be still run that way. The other people were extracted because of safety. And, the land's owned by them. 40 to 60% for the front block. So, yeah. Yeah, it's just then also too, like, I mean, there's like, I think there's over a couple hundred, like even more shareholders on the other side. So you can see how that's cut into 40% too. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So, and you got one person on the opposite. Yeah. Who's representing that. So even that's playing up. Chief judge signing over. you know, there was a lot of flaws when it came to the cases that we were having.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there was heaps of stuff. I mean, like even down to where the police, some of the police were actually poaching. On our place too.
Yeah,
so there's like photos of there.
Yeah.
So that's actual pictures.
Yeah, so they're on the land poaching.
On the land poaching.
Yeah, deers. Fuck.
Everything. Yeah, you know what
they
I mean?
got the helicopters, for everything.
And even when they came in and arrested the place, like everything was there, like the dogs, everything.
Pretty clear evidence, especially like you know, someone taking that kind of deer out, you know, like you can obviously see where someone's been there when they've been doing that stuff as well. It's not like all the evidence is there.
Yeah, then you got like livestock too. So they came in straight away, took it away. So my father put a lot of his own money into a lot of that stuff too. So you got livestock. You know, I think there was a couple $100,000 worth of livestock there. So like heaps of stuff. Just left there to like rot.
To rot, yeah. No one to look after it.
Oh man, yeah. So it's crazy. Plus the land and then all this stuff, and then like all these wrongdoings, and then you're trying to all these wrongdoings, and then they're trying to say it's just a case about trying to, you know, to unite a family and do all this other rubbish. But
they're just trying to undermine everyone by bringing up all the other shit.
Clean the pieces up, take the land. You know, it wasn't like the first time either. So once I brought up fight for the whenua, like there was like, sheesh, probably at least like 20 places and properties that were all talking about the same thing happening to them.
So this is not, obviously not the first time. Hey, a lot of other people have started doing. That's like when I was watching it all unfold. I'm like, and you're like the tactics and stuff. I'm like, like this isn't something that looks like it's been just makeshift. They know what they're doing. This has been done before. Yeah, and that's it's so important that you guys have come together as well and making this happen, because that's so wrong. And I know a lot of people in these corporate seats, etc., can get into positions of power and then the money and the greed, and it's like, okay, cool. How do we push these little guys around to get what we want?
Yeah, greed is a massive thing, and I think the worst thing about it is that like there are Māori that are pushing it. You know what I mean? There are Māori that are pushing it, which really sort of annoys me. And then they're obviously just like sellouts, they're just sellouts, sellouts that are trying to look after themselves individually, and then, and then smash out everyone else, or look down on the other Māoris like that, you know what I mean? So like, that stuff annoys me. And even the system, bro, like to be honest, like the system doesn't benefit Māori at all. Yeah,
that's kind of my understanding as well, because I'm a little bit out on the loop, but more I educate myself and I'm getting to understand like the treaties, settlements and agreements like that. I'm like, oh, it's quite actually, they've made it very, like it's very uneven.
Oh,
so as I'm looking, I'm like, I haven't even been, growing up in that environment or, in that day to day, but I'm like looking at it from the outside perspective now, looking in, I'm like, okay.
We even look at this, man. So this is like a graph of like Māori land ownership to now, from the beginning to now.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's not much at all, hey?
Nah, bro.
Like,
so, there's a lot of things that people aren't noticing, man. Yeah.
And I'll throw these up on the post there as well, so you guys can have a look at all these. Yeah, that's crazy, hey? Like, that's like not even, man, there's not much percentage of that left as well.
Oh, nah, man, nah. So, no doubt all this stuff goes up pretty high too.
Yeah.
No doubt the stuff goes up pretty high. So, for me personally, it's more just about my family, like, so like they've all given up a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my sisters and them my sister pretty much got forced out of the Māori land court because she was inside it by other people in there. So, and my other sister too, like they're both talented, like they could do anything else.
Yeah.
They didn't have to be doing this sort of stuff. Neither does my father.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So like that in itself, plus my mother was also working with like the Runanga and a few other like Māori places too. So, and she has to lose her job too. So like, the whole family loses their job, and then they're just like 100% trying to put themselves into this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Then police come over and extract stuff, and you're trying to tell me that all this stuff has a reason behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the reason behind it is the land. So
the land, the greed, the money.
Pretty much, man. Yeah.
And by looking at that, they've done. It's just been this has been done time and time again and over and over.
For sure, man. For sure.
And I got you know, I feel like the social media has played in your guys' favor here, where
for sure,
I know a lot of that land would have went a long time ago.
Yeah.
But now there's like, you guys have a voice. There's an opportunity here to
Yeah.
speak up and get it out there.
Yeah.
And there's that battle back now, as where, you know, back in the day there may not have been that. You know, there would have been a lot of corruption going on. There would have been swept under the rug. We wouldn't have been able to shine a light on it. As where you've used your voice and used your message now to be like, hey, this is wrong.
Yeah.
This something needs to happen here, and something needs to change, and it's brought a light.
Yeah. Or like to me, like the way, obviously my family in there are doing their part and working hard with trying to do it as the paperwork, and that sort of stuff. But obviously my capability is through pretty much just through what I feel is wrong and right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What I feel is wrong is right. You know, people who sort of half know me or anything to do with like what I've done in my life, you know, can obviously vouch for what I say.
Oh, so 100%. That's like when I seen you, then I was like, this is, you know, you shoot it straight, and you've always been straight up with things. So I'm like, you know, this is like, you know, that's why I, you know, support you and know what you do as well, bro. So
So that's why I always sort of just, you know, I'm not a lawyer. You know, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not that other sort of stuff. I just know what's wrong and what's right, and that's sort of what I'm doing with that, and then just showing it from that side. You know, so like people can't expect to get stuff if you're not working for it. You know what I mean? So you can't expect to get stuff if you're not working for it. Also too, like for the right reasons. You know, we try to do things for the right reasons. So, and then just trying to show it from that perspective. My other family can do all the fight stuff with that. I'm just trying to show what's in our heart for what we're up to.
Yeah, put a light on it as well.
Yeah.
I guess the question, like, if things were to play out, like, how would you like to see things to play out? I guess if you to like, because I know that they're gonna keep picking at this and keep picking at it. Do things get settled? How do you feel like they would?
Personally, I feel I would love the land to be settled. I love the whānau to be stress free with it. The extended family that have sort of been stuck in between it, I would love that to all be cool now too, and then the land being used for what it should be for. Everyone's sort of working together. But the big thing is that like I wanted to shed the light on like all the shit that's going on. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of shit going on back home that people just don't realize. Do you know what I mean? So like with land getting taken, whether it's you know, or even just like with the fact of like, you know, Māori family feuds are like massive. Yeah. Like, you know, it's almost like in every land you got that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So if there was some sort of way to try and alleviate that so it works out properly with like proper protocols that all the land can still stay within the whānau and we can all have that. So I would love that. Yeah. Do you feel like it's obviously the there's a lot of money grabs in there, like as well? Oh, for sure. You know that
that's where I see a lot of this stuff comes up where you know someone in a generation they come up and they may have a bit of power in there or whatever. Yeah. They may be signed over a bit of the land and they're like, okay, I want to sell it. They're looking for money. Or they could be at an age where they just don't understand it and they're like, oh for sure. Give me. Where it's not about them, it's about I guess. Holding that land in the family and keeping it there. Yeah, I suppose it's more trying to learn the importance, the importance of the connection that you do have with your land and with your whenua. Because once it's gone, it's gone. So you can't come back to it. Yeah, you can't just go back and reclaim that as well. It's gone. You know what I mean? So and there also needs to be like importance on the ones that do hold it there. That do hold it there. They definitely need to have more. There needs to be more gratitude towards those people. Yeah, and just educating about it around, and just, the full understanding of what's actually been given here. Oh, yeah, hard. And also, too, we're purely just caretakers of it. We're caretakers of it. It's not there for us to do that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? So, like, you should build your own life yourself. Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? That's not the thing you should be holding over top of it. That's just home. That's there. That's home. And then your life is your life. You build out what you got to do with yourself. Yeah, I feel like, and that's that's what you've done as well. You've gone out, ventured out, created a life for yourself as well. Although you've got the property back home, did you grow up on that property? Yeah. So like I was between it because it's about like hour and a half from Gisborne. So we're Gisborne, go up there backwards and forwards. Yeah, hunting, hanging out in the bush with the old man or
mostly working, but every
Yeah,
now and
well,
then
I was actually listening to his story this morning about how he caught his first deer. I was listening to the thing. I was laughing. I was like,
bro, and he was young too, right? So like, obviously that's like a bit.
Yeah. How was it like growing up hunting and stuff on the farm? Like what does that mean? Like, does that mean special meaning to you?
Oh,
like that stuff's near and dear.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I suppose it's not now until I'm sort of like older. Like, you know, I realize how, you know, how special all that sort of stuff is. You know what I mean? How special that stuff is to obviously spend time with my father. You know, be connected with the land. You know, to, you know, obviously take their life, but obviously that's part of the cycle up there. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, you take their life, then you look after the land, and then obviously everything sort of flows back to it. You know what I mean? So, and then to obviously little lessons too with, like, you know, my father was always like never keen on like hunting for sport. It was always just like for food or just to, you know, provide. You know,
provide. You're not there to over leverage or take as much as you can. That's
sure.
what my man was really big on that as well. He's like, it's going to be there. You get a feed,
exactly.
take it home, and then you want to go back out, you go back out.
So the respect thing, I took a lot from him with that, and So to be honest, I love it. So like, especially now, you know, I feel how you know, how lucky I was and blessed to have those sort of things. You know, when it came to that. Plus, you know, special people in my family, for my grandparents, and spending time with them. You know, horse riding, fucking all the cool
growing
stuff.
up in the land, hey, it's a special. I realise now as well, like coming to a city like this, like Gold Coast. I was so lucky, like to grow up in that, like the freedom. The freedom as a kid, as a child, like I was allowed to do whatever I wanted, like, and
you know, providing for yourself, you know, diving and all this sort of stuff too, you know. So the whānau aspect, obviously, a big thing too. Everybody looking after each other, and you know, something you don't really realize until you sort of go out and about. And sort of see like, these fellas are missing out on a lot, you know.
Yeah, a lot of, you know, you're very fortunate to have that family
for sure
as well.
And and then the Māori side with my grandmother, and to be around that. That was awesome, you know what I mean? Like, to see those sorts of, to be around those things, feel those things.
Yeah, pass on the teachings and grow up in an environment, they pass on their knowledge. It's so important, hey. That's why, you know, I know you know that importance of taking your boy back there and, you know, let him understand, you know, where he comes from.
Even my gym has a deep connection with all that too, with my obviously my Māori side. And we have our own karakia, we have our own haka.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, a lot of people would have seen the haka with the
I've seen it
because it went viral and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that on the YouTube as well, and I'll put a link to that as well on the page, so you guys can go suss that out as well. I've seen that. That was like 3 years ago, I think.
So about 3 years ago. So I mean, it was probably just big because of like how real it was. So it was dedicated to Mark, you know, Mark Super Samoan. So he was coming back home and wanted to do something special for the boat, and also too, like. We never really used that haka that much, you know, so we used it sort of special occasions. One of my whānau members wrote it up, so tapunga nepi, so it was me.
Shout out to Mark Hunt too. I actually met him one time. It was actually I got a funny story about how I met him. It was like when I must have been like when I first come to the Gold Coast, I seen him at the shopping centre. And I was like, cause I never, you know, I love UFC, I love Mark Hunt, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go salo and get a photo with him. But I seen him, he went to the toilet, must have went to go do a shit. I'm like, I'm fucking waiting for him. I was like, so I pulled him up. He would have been like, who's this guy fucking waiting for? So if he watches this, hey, bro. I was like, pulled him up. I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to wait for him. That was the first time. You know, I was new to town. I was like, bro, fuck, that's my cunt. I was like, I'm going to wait for him. I better come out and get a photo with him. But that was...
It was a special occasion though when we did that, so I wasn't too surprised how big it got. It was just sort of like everything sort of just lined up. So we're obviously doing it for the right reasons, trying to give some energy to the bro, and then also too like Jason Momoa ended up.
Yeah, he was there, right?
So he ended up like he came to the Gold Coast. He's obviously a fan of Mark and then there was like mutual friends. The bro Ezra Till was mate with Mara, who's also a mate of Jason's. So it was sort of like a bit of intertwine. So then we all met up, and then and then the old cuzzy wanted to get into it. So helped him out with trying to learn the haka and that sort of stuff, and he jumped into 2, and yeah, she was a solid occasion, bro. Yeah, she was a solid occasion, so pretty hard to emulate that again. But,
definitely. You know, everything just aligned to make that one moment, hey, and especially when things come together like that.
Oh, man, I was very lucky just to have it, like, even, like, filmed, you know, like, even to even get it on film, so that's why reason why I think it was so massive, was because, you know, like, it was just it's
so natural, and it just happened, and it happened, and someone got it on camera.
Yeah.
And that's
so,
it, hey.
And
it's
it just
like,
blew up. Yeah, so I've been like, that was like years ago, and like it still gets like massive views, but it was like, I think it was well over like 60 to 70 million before.
Yeah, no, it's
before
good,
it even got through. Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a cool moment. So
yeah. Definitely. Working with, you know, obviously you've had quite a few fighters come through the gym and do some work. I know Tai Tuivasa was down there not so long ago. How's that been for you? How's that experience been?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. I mean, like, you know, I suppose I owe a lot of thanks to Mark, really.
Yeah.
So Mark Hunt and that. So like he took he took a risk on a Māori boy. He ran Heartbreak Conditioning gym, and I was thankful for that. So I did everything I could to try and help the bro and that sort of thing. And then with that came a lot of like obviously attention, and then a few of the boys like Ty and them were on the come up at that time. So Tai Tuivasa, Justin Tuffa, who's in UFC now.
Yeah, I see him going. He's going hard. He's coming up real good. Hey.
Yeah, Junior Tuffa too. So you know what I mean. So like Tyson Pedro also came through for a couple of sessions too, and all the boys.
I watched the boys podcast, the Half Cast podcast. It cracks me up.
That's cool. Yeah,
they're so raw and real. So, what's it like having guys like that come through the gym? Have like elevated your growth in the sport as well? Like, because they go to a lot of different training camps as well, and they've come in there, and you've opened your door to them, and you get to see them flourish and shine as well, especially coming up over the years. Like I've learned a lot.
I've learned a lot. Like, to be honest, so I've learned a lot with obviously application with strength conditioning, application with recovery, obviously application with game planning and reading and all that sort of type of stuff too. Also too, like personalities, personalities, and the mental side of it is pretty massive. Like with being able to click with people. Being able to click with people. So, that was cool. I mean, like even just to have them in the gym too. You know what I mean? So like, all those guys are pretty much a part of history. You know what I mean? And I feel very, very grateful and blessed with that side of it. So especially with like Mark. Mark is like, jeez.
Yeah, he's I got to take my hat off to him as well. I feel like he's I feel like he's kind of, I don't know, just from my perspective, he's kind of mentoring a lot of those younger guys now.
Oh, for sure.
They've I hear them talking on podcasts and stuff like that, and they always give him praise. And having someone like himself guide them. I know that they're gonna shortcut a lot of the bullshit that he probably would have had to go through in his career to elevate them and fast track things a lot better. So so kudos and that stuff as well.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, like because the sport is still pretty. Obviously still really young, still really young, and like the Pacific side of it is really coming to its strength now. You know what I mean? So, and a lot has to do with Mark, so when it comes to the UFC and that, and you can just see everyone coming through, Ty, Justin, and then you got all the CKB boys too back home, like just ripping it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That whole fight scene over in this side of the world is it's really growing, and I've been talking to people about it.
Oh, and Australian MMA and all that sort of stuff. Rob Whittaker, and you got Volkanovski and far out.
It's growing. Hey, I love it because all we grew up was footy. We just had league, and I was like, we got all these other sports now, and you're starting to see familiar faces. And, you hear the Aussie twang over there on the UFC. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I definitely love the Polynesian thing and all the Polynesian crew that they're coming through too, because it's always something that I've thought that I think the Polynesian people definitely got a natural gift when it comes to that sort of thing too. But then also too, actually how it's all binding like the Anzac buzz now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like all our Australian fighters, all the NZ fighters, and all together now too. Like and it's like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is good to see, and it's good to see a lot of those guys swap gyms and stuff as well. I've seen Volkanovski and that go over to CKB, and they're swapping over, and I'm like, that's really cool that I feel like that.
Everybody's a bit more together,
together
and open with it. So it's mad. Yeah.
It's a bigger picture here, and to get them guys in the spotlight over in America, etc. on that platform is the big game here.
Oh, for sure. So, especially when I first started up with Heartbreak and that sort of stuff too. So we had like obviously Dylan Andrews too, which was also sort of like a pioneer too for the MMA when it came to the UFC.
Yeah.
And also James Tahuna.
I've met him a few times.
He was the first Māori to get in there too. So, and to have him through the gym also too was like a big thing for me personally. Being Māori. Yeah. Having seen the bro in there too. So yeah, and then having them all have their signatures on my wall is pretty cool too.
Yeah. Because you've had quite a few people come through the gym. Even The Rock come through there as well.
Rock,
hey,
man. Yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Yeah, man, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was definitely like a crazy highlight. That one.
Bro. Kudos. Just to even have someone like that come through a gym is like amazing. It's a big thing, bro. So kudos, and that's a.
Oh yeah. Bit of luck, man. But it was cool, man. I was just super happy that he came through, and grateful that he came through. Like there was a lot of people trying to get a hold of their fellow, and then he decided to come to the gym, which like I've never really been one to get like stuttery and stuff, but I was definitely stuttering.
Oh, bro, I would have been too.
I was just like, she's.
Oh, hey, bro.
I was like, what's up, guys?
Yeah. How'd that happen?
Oh man, I'm not too sure how it got to him, but so I wanted to do something because I heard he was coming to the coast, and then I was just like, I got to have a crack, I got to have a crack and try to see what I can do to get him in. So I ended up coming up with so I put out like a call out to all the other gyms or anybody else just to give us what they thought was their hardest training session.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I gave it like a week to give me like all these hard challenges. So there was I think it was like 80 or something challenges, something like that off the top of my head. 80 or something like fitness challenge, crazy ones like, flip a tire for 10Ks, for walk on your hands for like 5Ks, like heaps of stupid stuff. Yeah. But so like we had like, so all these challenges that we had to try and do. So, and then in return for giving those challenges and doing those challenges, they had to put up a tag, bring the rock to Heartbreak, hashtag bring the rock to Heartbreak if we could finish them.
Okay.
So that was part of the whole deal. So yeah, and obviously we got there was a lot of Polynesian boys at the gym too, so we did like a video talking about it too, so to try and put it up, and I think someone seen the video, passed it on to them, then it got to us. But anyway, it was just like some guy called up and said, I get anxiety. When's the quietest time to come train? Yeah. When's the quietest time to come train? I was like, probably, I think it was like Easter or something, Easter Saturday or something like that. I said, I'll be pretty quiet then. Yeah. And then be like, okay, then sweet. Then someone else did the same call again. And then I was like, that's an interesting one. Yeah, so, and then I was just training, and then a guy came in. Was it quiet here today? And I was like, oh, yeah. And he goes, okay, sweet. Can I just train by myself? I was like, yeah, it's all good, man. So, so then he did that, walked outside, and then this black truck rolled up. Truck opened up, and yo, what's up, man?
Yo, what's up, bro?
Dwayne was like, dip.
Did you jam up? Did you?
Yeah, very hard out. Yeah. I'll be honest, bro. Jammed up.
Oh, it would be such a surprise, seeing someone like that rock up at your gym, be like, yo, what's up, bro?
Yeah, but what's up, cuz? So that was cool, man. It was lucky too. My boy was there too, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my son was there too, so he was way more like calm than I was. Yeah, he sort of walked straight out, and as I go, my name's Mana.
Hey, bro.
I go to this school. Yeah, my dad's been trying to message you for ages.
Yeah. Oh, right. Good work, man. Getting it out there as well. Yeah. He would be used to that though. He'd be. He would have had that happen so many times. It rocked up, and people would be like, "Oh, shit." Yeah, it
was cool, man. Like we probably spoke for like maybe just under an hour or so, just hanging out, chilling out. So man, that was really cool. So we gave him like a background on where I came from and Heartbreak and stuff like that. And it was just like I actually took a lot from it. Yeah. Just like little things that he sort of told me, like when he read the prayer and stuff like that, and like little motivational things that he said, and when I still remember them to this day. So
yeah, bro, cool. Having a caliber of a human around like that, you can always and having to talk to them, you're always going to get something out of it. Hey, cause just to see how someone talks, at that level, and what they've achieved, you can always
for sure. And then like their words mean so much more when you can see what they can do and what they have done. You know what I mean?
It's backed up by the accolades, and the resume speaks for itself.
Yeah. So I was obviously over the moon with that, and that was awesome. That was an awesome moment.
Yeah, sweet, bro. Last couple questions I want to ask. Like you've got one wish, what would it be? You got one wish, bro.
Okay.
What's your one wish? If you get one wish to change anything in the world today.
Change anything in the world today?
Or, you'd make something happen in this world, what would it be?
If I could make something happen right now, jeez.
Hard question, eh? I'll put you on the spot.
A lot of different things. Yeah. Well, I suppose the first thing, if I'm looking at first things that come to my mind, would be the land issue to be sorted and my family to live their life.
Yeah, right. So you want your family to do well and be good and get that that burden overhanging your family.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. Yeah.
I can sort out everything else.
Yes, you can get the rest. You can put in the work, brother, and get it done.
Yeah, I can do the rest.
The last thing, a hot tip for someone out there living life right now. If you were to give some advice or a hot tip or a quote, what would it be?
Jeez. I think seems like a lot of people say that, but like to generally be real with yourself, genuine with yourself, and literally go after what you're trying to do in life, but also to do it with other people in mind also.
Yeah, do it together. Yeah,
do it with other people in mind also. I think just a lot of people are trying to be something else that they're not. So I think it's better to be real. Use your life. Need to help others, but also to use your life to go after something. That you always wanted.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Go for it, hey, and stay true to yourself at the same time. Follow the dreams and stay true to you.
Yeah, too many people trying to pretend to be something else.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Game to play, bro.
The cool thing is they're like, there's only one you, so
yeah, there is only one you, bro.
So that's a unique thing to do. So just go with that.
Yeah, definitely, brother. Okay, appreciate your time today. Thanks very much for coming on.
Yeah.
If you're out there listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave a review, rate us. If you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Sending my love and support to everyone out there. Much love. This is If You Don't Know, Now You Know. Thanks for watching.
Sweet.
Cheers,
mate.